our top 20 mystical video game themes as chosen by you. This is Wandering Flame from Final Fantasy X. But our first pick is going to be from Chris. It is from Chris. It is from Halo 2. The track is called Heretic, Hero. Nice. Wow. And then it probably does a loop there. Oh my god, so much going on. I really love it. I'm thinking when I hear this track, I think that I'm pretty happy we're going to be listening to mystical music today, because it's very uplifting in not a cheesy way, although I have been accused of being very cheesy. So it could be very cheesy to some. And it just felt really good. Man, so much space and the percussion and use of the stereo to make the little percussive strikes sound like they're traveling across your head. Like it's getting your neurons to fire. It's this really comforting choir note selection they do in that. It's so low and full. It sort of sounds like everything is going to be okay. But so much power behind it. But a power for good. This is crazy. Wow, crazy uplifting. Great choice, a great start. Heretic Hero from Halo 2. All right. Let's see what's coming up next. And that bass line. Good God. That bass line. Our next track is from Alundra. This is Dream a Dream. was a nice one. It's a bit of a slow builder, but it just sets the tone. I mean, when you're trying to express this kind of ambiance, it's nice to take your time with it. An older RPG game where you're probably going to be spending a lot of time in whatever room, I guess it is, you're working on. Really beautiful. Really curious. Mystical. It's got a kind of like... Now, what is mystical? I guess it's a bit of like a warm kind of magic to it, or usually something reverential, something that is out of your understanding that seems to be, I don't know, of like a greater power or magic or something. Something that is almost like human but better than human at the same time. Given the impression of visiting a mysterious and mystical place, lots of space like the last track. Less comforting and familiar, yeah. But still, like, I feel it still feels kind of soft and warm, but there is a bit of mystery. It's nothing too dark. You go into people's dreams in that last game. Very cool. Yes. Very Super Nintendo with those kind of... those flute runs. Sounds like something out of Final Fantasy. Definitely probably inspired by Uematsu. Really nice track. Oh my god. I'm pretty excited for all the rest of the tracks we're going to have today if they are up to this quality. And also to see what other people's interpretations are. Because this one I would say is very on the nose of what I would expect from a mystical track. Some more deliciously warm nostalgia from Klonoa in our next track. Untamed Heart. Man, I could listen to that track for much, much longer, but we'll move on. That's Klonoa Untamed Heart. Again, another track with sort of a slower pace to it, lots of space, kind of a worldly feel, and with the percussion. And I say worldly, is that not the most centrist thing to say? Like, so self-absorbed that anything that isn't from your continent is worldly. It's a world beat. It's from a country that isn't America or Canada. Worldly. But, and then you got nice soft synth pads. Everything's like warm, kind of comforting, but a bit of that curiosity, of importance. Things rising and falling. Beautiful dynamics. Ah, just like so warm, all those synth tones, man. Could take a bath in it. Beautiful. Beautiful bath. Our next track is from Xenoblade Chronicles number 2, Kingdom of Uraya. Okay, holy crap. So this is it did kind of start off like you were in a bit of a hub town, and now we've gone into like cutscene territory or something, where it's just building and building. This is a 6-minute track, and we are only at 2.5 minutes, so there's plenty more to listen to. Kingdom of Uraya, U-R-A-Y-A, Uraya, Urashaka, Urashaka. Beautiful track. I kind of forget the first part that we were hearing. I'm just going to rewind it a little bit. I'm going to rewind my tape machine. Definitely has that sort of open field, grassy field vibe with the with those flutes, you know, just with those wind instruments that kind of sound like a light rustling. For some reason, they sound really centered, close to the earth to me, not like up too high, flying around. It sounds like something innocent, you know, in a field, something where there might be houses nearby, or a village, or a home. It's pronounced the same like Uruguay, the Kingdom of Uraya. Uraya. Beautiful stuff. I mean, man, the orchestration is so nice. Just so touching and really gorgeous. Oh, I love that little triangle. I've reached peak music pretentiousness. Ooh, the triangle. Oh, just listen. This next track is Yuno, Different World 1. Yamaha YM2608, the OPNA Speakboard version. Oh, those notes cut through. was a really, really good track. Almost reminds me of a Game Boy song. You know, just the way with the way that those melodies sing out, the tone that they have. I was with Chris. I thought maybe this would need drums, but when the drums came in, they came in a really nice way. And they kind of are, they vary their drums in the kick pedal right here. There's this nice variance where you're just constantly thinking like, oh, where are they going to put that extra, those kick bass? Awesome. And then it gets to this like really fun, kind of like swanky, agile melody. Just so sharp and crisp. Oh my god. What a track, what a journey to go on. What's this cop checking? I didn't see. Hopefully nothing too... Not that we wanted to... Hopefully she's not checking anything we don't want it to be checked. She checked on a person, I see. Okay. Wonderful track. Our next track is a Prince track, which means it has a very long title. This is Soul Sacrifice Delta, Certain Magician's Life, in brackets, the Eternal Recurrence version. Really nice. That's sort of a Christmassy feel with a really delicate upper register piano, kind of plink plonk in a way, and kind of the like whimsical violin or wind instruments runs there. Definitely has a mystical feel in terms of something that feels a bit magical, not of this world, something that is ethereal to us. It almost sounds like if Harry Potter was visiting a different school, you know, in a different part of the world, that this is the theme that he would hear as he sees their school. He visits the wizarding school in Hungary, where the grounds are patrolled by the great Hungarian horntail. That's right, I know. Yes, that's right. From Sonic Adventure, this track is Mystic Ruin. Yeah, it definitely does have a ancient civilizations feel to it. I don't know what language they're singing in, but I don't understand it, so it gives it kind of a, I guess, a tribal feel to my North American modern ears. Really nice, heavy drums. Sound like a djembe or something, eh? Like you can just imagine a big drum with an animal hide stretched over it. Yeah, it does have an African, Egyptian kind of sound to it, eh? You can hear the sun out in a song like this. A pretty friendly feel though, as well. It's sort of like approaching and approachable and welcoming, or approaching and welcomeable. And then you got a couple time changes in here just to amp up the mysticness. You got yourself the mystical track. Next up, a track from Shadow of the Colossus. This is third track of that soundtrack called Commandment. Yeah, very beautiful. A lot of wind in it. It kind of has like almost like a coldness or like an airiness sort of around it. Like you're in a big temple, or I guess it contributes to that feeling of being alone that the world of Shadow of the Colossus has. Again, it still feels pretty, not friendly, but yeah, well, I guess, yeah, friendly. Doesn't sound like it's coming from an enemy. It sounds like it's trying to teach you something. It's trying to teach you about its world. Yeah, the pace does feel like it has pauses. Almost like someone explaining you a tale and then stopping, taking a breath and telling you more. Very peaceful, yeah. Peaceful is a very good word for it. Secluded, peaceful, mystical, ancient mountain temples. Welcome, Siphon. Siphon Run. Bonus track, not a part of the top 20, from our new friend Kit and Kate. Their choice for a mystical track is Never Ending Journey from Lost Odyssey. Very nice. From the great Nobuo Uematsu of Final Fantasy fame, this is one of the, I think this is the second big JRPG title that Sakaguchi made after leaving Square. After doing Final Fantasy 1 through 4, 5, and 9. It was a really cool build from that folky intro. It definitely feels like you're on a horse at that boom. And then you've got some light sort of like coconut sounding percussion in the background that really sounds like horse hooves. And then the lone flute. Gives it a western vibe as well. No, Sakaguchi didn't do 6, 7, 8, and 9. He did 9. But 6 and 7 are directed by, I think 6, 7, and 8 were directed by Kitase. But Uematsu did the music for all of them, and then he had some help on 10. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was confusing, because at first I said Uematsu, and then I flipped over to Sakaguchi. Because that was the big deal with this game. It was the big boys from Square. And then they had a game before this as well that I didn't play. And then he had a third one, too, on the Wii. I think it was called, like, Last Story or something. The Zodiac Killer was identified? Solved now, today? Oh my god, who was it? It was Robert Downey Jr. He was fooling us all in that movie. Our next track is from RuneScape 3, Second Vision, composed by Adam Bond. That alarm clock sound slowed down. Oh yeah, that's nice. Maybe a bit too much alarm clocks. Definitely sounds like you are in some kind of a temple that would have moving platforms, because you're sort of like waiting for things to go forward and go back. The way that alarm clock sound kind of goes out and then slows down, I think right here. Sounds so great. So much movement. Lots of wind chimey kind of sounds. Sounds like things that are hanging in the wind being moved and struck, and nice frequencies and a lot of resonance. That's really nice. I love that. It almost sounds like the bell on a bicycle being played faster and slower. Almost too much of it when you hear it. Like, I like that one that goes fast and slower, but then when you hear it again right here. Oh, I didn't. Ah, there it is. Because it's sort of, and it's an alarming sound, right? We're conditioned to think that about bells. Nice track. Very mystical. This next one is from Bravely Default 2. What's the track's name? For instance, Ruin, That Time Forgot. It's interesting how Big Boss Steve was saying the guitar coming in gives a more like a simplicity and peace. And when you feel like, you know, when you hear someone playing an acoustic guitar, it sounds, I guess it sounds more intimate, more inviting, because guitar is usually brought out and shared between people, or the experience is shared between people, or you're closer to the person with a guitar. They can sit beside you and play. You can sit right in front of them and play. Whereas a piano, they're bigger. And there's a sort of a separation between the piano player and the people. It's a bit more reverential. It's a bit more important sounding. And people don't always just sit on the piano and like mindlessly play. Whereas on a guitar, people could just strum or play a nice little melody. A village out in the middle of nowhere, where they have... Oh, you know, I originally read that someplace where they're in touch with Medicare. Mysticism. The Medicare of mysticism. This is from Bravely Default 2, Mother Chucker. Real nice track. From one reverential JRPG to the next, this is Suikoden. For the original PlayStation, the track is 39 Forgotten Days. This old debate, how to pronounce the video game name. I called it what? Suikoden? And Big Boss Steve has always pronounced it like Suikoden. And I've heard other people in game stores call it Suikoden. Horky here happens to speak Japanese. Horky, do you feel like you have any authority on the pronunciation of this? Suikoden. Suikoden? Suikoden. I don't think there'd be a W in there, like Suikoden. That's how they say down in Alabama. Roll Tide on that. Suikoden. Here, Suikoden, Suikoden, Suikoden. Suikoden. Anyway, it's a mystical track. It has flutes. It has big tribal drums. It's got violin, and it's got Asian instruments. It's got fucking wind chimes. It's a mystical track. I don't know what else you can say. It made me feel very at peace and welcome and nice, like I was exploring a new land. Take your Suikoden for nighttime sniffling, daytime drowsiness. Do your sinuses feel like they're on fire? Have a spoonful of Suikoden. Helps the COVID go away. The go. 108 nights of sleep. A nice little reggae beat. Fable. The original soundtrack. Temple of Lights. Very nice theme, very simple theme. This track is Temple of Light. Apparently the main theme of Fable was done by Danny Elfman, which makes sense. It's Microsoft, Xbox, they get the money. This is their big foray into having their own adventure game, their own Zelda. That was the anniversary trailer, and it was showing us, you know when they're showing, like, here's how it looked originally? Whoosh, and the colors totally change, and the lighting totally changes, and you go, man, what about the original artists? That's just a big fuck you to them, saying, like, okay, this one right here. You've got this dark blue church, and they go, remaster! It's orange now! So it's like conveying a totally different mood. Orange is a lot warmer. You know, blue is darker and is more introspective. And in a church like that, like this, maybe you want it to seem cold. It seems like they're going willy-nilly. Yeah, like this. Remaster! Oh, this is how you grew up with it? Oh yeah! New graphics for you. This is from Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets, an EA Games game. Charm Spell Atmos. Wow. So that's Jeremy Soule of Elder Scrolls. A really, really deep, reverential, pretty serious fucking track. Especially when you look at the game title. So this is obviously like a very, very sort of like kid-centric. You've got this life-changing music on the screen. Your kid's playing this and you're watching them and you're having a flashback to all the different flashpoints in your life. Going on a journey through space and time. While your kid keeps falling into pits. Like you once fell into the pits of sin and folly, which prevent us from reaching our true potential. Dad, why are you crying while I play Harry Potter? You ask Jeremy Soule, son. You ask Jeremy Soule. Our next track is from Castlevania Symphony of the Night. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This is track 15, Requiem for the Gods. Evil sleigh bells ring. Are you listening? Resolve, baby. Beautiful. Very religious sounding, with the high choir, the church organ, the reverb, the cathedral reverb. It's a very hymn sound to it. I like the way it's done as like a 3/4, a 6/8, but they just give you that low kick drum and I guess the hi-hat, but they do them at the very last bit of the beat that you can. It's like just a little bit later, not boom, just shifts you around a little. Reverby drums, very nice. Probably one of the calmer tracks on this soundtrack, and one of the best. Are you ready for the Elemental Stars, Golden Sun? You get the feeling this plays in a place with tiny hand-sized people who have regular-sized hands. I love the music box sound, where it sounds like a tiny piano being sort of played by gears unfolding. This is definitely one of the best Game Boy Advance tracks I've heard. Very impressive, the sounds they got out of there. Vocal samples, the voice box, the keys. They must have just worked really hard to get great samples or focused on the ones that are going to sound really good. It's beautiful. On to the next! This next track is from a series that I don't like. And I don't like that you like it. It is composed by the incredible Yoko Shimomura. This is Yoko Shimomura's track, A Very Small Wish, from an untitled game. Man, Yoko Shimomura is such a master of the orchestra, and definitely very whimsical. Does capture the older Disney sound, as Rudy is saying, and definitely does feel like an intermission. I agree with Chris, between events and places. It's got a nice little bit of like Egyptian mysticism in there off to the side. Really curious. I like how it just sort of flutters in the breeze. She just evokes so much from her melodies and choices. You get such a sense of the world that she's creating there. Yoko Shimomura! From the game that shall not be named to Shadow Heart's near-death experience. Arranged tracks number 2. All right. Ooh, our first dark mystical track. We have a lot of the mystical hallmarks. We've got a tight, crisp, arpeggiated stringed instrument or guitar. We've got sort of sparse, worldly sounding beats and Egyptian scale riffing, or maybe like an Indian scale with the notes in between. And then, of course, some people singing in a language you don't recognize. It's really nice. The bass is really nice. It's a battle theme. Cool. There's an SH1 version of this. It sounds very different. What does that mean, SH1? This next one is from God Eater 2, The God's Feast, Extravagance. Yeah, first track we've heard today of this ilk, taking a lot of those mystical vocal sounds and pads, amping it up. I love the way those like lower synth notes just curve up. Pretty fun. It's hard hitting, but it's kind of like still soft on the ears. Got nice tones. Really fun for a big ramp up tune. Big fat, soft, wide. Really pleasing sounds. Awesome. Let's go eat some gods. Does anyone have any allergies? The penultimate track is from a favorite of the top 20 shows. It's off of the Samorost 3 soundtrack. This one is called Mandragora, in brackets, Floix. Boy, that could have been a good one to end on. Welcome back, Inc. Samorost 3, Mandragora. Really beautiful. Really takes you on a journey, like a lot of the mystical tracks do. This one, I really, really enjoyed. Man, all the different elements of it, how it grew. It definitely does have a sadder, more, almost like something you don't understand but is eventual anyway, in the way that it kind of slides into itself. I like the way that it shifts to the chords. Kind of feels like something that's a bit exotic, a bit unknowable, that you're curious of. But the will of the universe and time itself will always keep moving forward. It can never be fully tamed or controlled. Gorgeous stuff. And I mean, when you look at the gameplay, fits so perfectly with that crazy alien exotic fairy tale visual style. This will be the last track of our top 20 if you're watching the video on YouTube. This will be the last track. If you're on the stream, we'll choose a theme for next week. Listen to a few more that didn't get played. I believe this should be an old favorite for some. This is from World of Warcraft. Teldrassil. Teldrassil? You know what it is. It's WoW. Coming at you.